Hi everyone. Today I'm going to tell you a short story of my life. I hope you enjoy it. When I was in my 20s, I graduated from college. Although I earned money in the internships, I barely had money to survive. I had a girlfriend back then. We had built a relationship based on love and empathy, but that's not enough for adult life. In addition to this, the motorcycle I had bought was having some failures, and because of this I had to spend a lot of money. I even got a scam when I tried to buy the secure, the SWAT. In 2024, I had just arrived from a trip with my family when the relationship with her started going down. We didn't discuss or fight really. Maybe that was a sign that things were going to mess up. I was completely a loser, to be honest. After a while, my girlfriend broke up with me, and a few weeks later, I noticed she was dating someone else. The news made me taste alcohol, which I had never tasted before. I didn't care about what she or someone else thought. With the motorcycle, I just tried to make all the money that I could. I got used to drinking before working. Soon the alcohol didn't affect me at all. At least that I thought. I used to arrive late at home and drink to sleep better. This was my routine back then. I used to think that I was invincible until one day I drank a little bit more of the usual. If I had that routine nowadays, probably I would have cirrhosis. Fortunately, that day I didn't pick up anyone. I was tired, and as there was no work to do, I decided to come back home. I had a Jack Daniels bottle on the kitchen table. I was hungry, and as I wasn't used to cooking, for any reason in my mind, it was a good idea to add alcohol to the steak I was cooking. Always a good idea. For a professional chef, it will be normal, but not for me. When I put a cup of Jack Daniels into the pan, it start to throw flames of fire. I guess I didn't put the correct amount. After a few moments, the kitchen started to throw flames, not only the pan, but the whole kitchen. I was paranoid until a neighbor knocked on my door and started to help me out the fire. He was about to ask for a ride on the bike, but helped me to save my apartment from being destroyed. That day, I understood sometimes you can solve everything on your own. While I took a shower, I started to think about the life that I was leading, and I realized I was at the bottom, but I couldn't stay there forever. I was about to destroy the whole apartment just for not knowing how to handle my emotions. The very next day, each of the residents was complaining about the smoke, and for sure, I had to clean up the carbon prints of the walls. Even though I heard these voices within my head, I decided to make a change. My uncle had given me a small Bible, and things were to be different. Every single day, as a commitment to myself, I decided to post a video every time I fulfilled my purpose. Discipline is the medium through which you achieve your goals. It will help you a lot, but getting used to discipline is the tough part. Every day I used to wake up and I wondered, why do I do this? I realized that neither the alcohol nor my isolation will help me solve this crisis. I had to either seek professional support or continue my downward spiral. It seems obvious, but sometimes your body or your mind says something different. Each of the days that followed was a struggle, but every one of the steps I took toward discipline was worth it. Even when you don't have any idea of what the heck you are doing, keep moving. That's the lesson I learned, and it was the consistency that helped me to overcome myself. A few months later, a studio contacted me. They want me to be the new face of the company. It was kind of a dream, but not everything is as you want. They didn't have a director, and they also needed someone to take charge of the staff. For some reason, they trust me. At the beginning, everything was a mess, but I relied on the process. The first weeks were awful. I couldn't process so much stress. Lastly, we didn't know how to record the final of the clip, and the company was pushing me to end it up, but I didn't find any form to do that. We were in an outdoor location and the weather changed a lot. One time I came back from work and I saw that bottle one more time. The alcohol seemed calling me. It was like a hallucination. Then I heard my phone ringing. Sácame del bolsillo. It was Felipe, the neighbor who helped me the other night. Then I talked with him and I explained the whole situation, and he told me that sometimes it's better don't trust on your own reason, not because you couldn't, but because the burdens are too heavy to carry them by yourself. Then I confessed to him months before I had a problem with alcohol, and he said to me, "Yes, I already knew it. No one is perfect, my friend. Every person in the world needs help." I was so glad he never judged me. He knew I was an alcoholic, and in spite of this fact, he offered me his hand because I had attempted to solve my professional and personal failures in isolation. I reached a breaking point. It was only when I invited Felipe into my crisis that I finally understood the value of collaborative resilience. Solitude could have its advantages. You can't deny that it brings more clarity, and silence could be necessary sometimes, but maybe you need to hear the advice from another person. Might have been God or destiny, but I had heard the words that I needed, and I was at the exact point that I should be. And when it seemed that we wouldn't achieve our goal, I decided to confess my lack of experience and ask for help. Then I saw an old man. He led me to another place. He might have worked on more projects than any other person in the room, and probably had more experience years than my age. He explained to me how I should lead the group in order to get the work harmony and the project finished. Then we start to work. I ask each one of the staff what abilities and strengths they had. That way, I came up to get the best of every worker to advance with the project, and finally, we had finished. We must have been working more than 6 hours in a row, but we were happy. And after 10 hours of filming, finally we ended up. All of us were happy and pretty sure that the advertisement was to be a hit. Then we had another issue. The film editor was struggling with the videos. One of them had been recorded in another format, and we had to cut that part and replace it for a new one. But then I thought that I had to rely one more time on my partners. So I had decided our editor would have to improvise, and I just advised him to use AI to come up with a solution. The very next day, I received a message from my editor. He sent me the video and he had added a part of the video using AI. It was very eccentric, but our goal was never to be normal. I had to convince my kid to post the video, but when it was released, the social media exploded and it had plenty of comments and likes. After some harsh months, I had a respite. Nowadays, I'm still working with this advertisement company, and for the next month, I will have worked for a year in the company. I had never been so happy. Each day, I challenge myself and I keep on growing. Ultimately, my journey proves that discipline is a medium for success, but humility is the catalyst for genuine change. And for sure, I had one last thing to do to redeem my whole life. I forgave myself. In June of 2027, I am working on a new project for a company of soda drinks. I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years, but probably I will do some crazy and amazing things, enjoying life. Thank you guys. See you next time.